Alright, this is week 5 up on Moore Park, looking at this specimen of Ponderosa pine. So this is branch 1, and you can see here that the seed cones have grown, and we're starting to see a sprout of growth on the pollen cone. So some things are changing. A lot has really happened in the last week. Last week, they were beginning to emerge, as you'll see in one of the other pictures on the pollen cone, but this week they're really starting to go for it. Kind of a preview of, I guess, what's to come is here on a same branch. You can see the development of these pollen cones. This branch isn't one of the ones I'm studying, but you can see that the change has happened really quickly. This has happened alone in about the last 10 days. So there's that for there. Branch 2, however, has not really changed in the last 2 weeks. You can see the pollen cone remains opening, but it really hasn't begun to develop. The seed cone has grown a little bit. The needles have grown a little bit, but not a whole lot of change. And this branch also, or at least a fork of this branch, you know, this is the lower branch, but you can see even on this one the pollen cone is starting to open up. So there's been some questions about the different conditions between the two branches. So this is the lower branch, and it's definitely a more stunted growth. There's only one seed cone for the pollen cone, where most of these do have 3, as branch 2 does. So kind of step back here. So there's branch 1, and you can see that it's connected, and branch 2 comes down. It's kind of a different limb. We've got a kind of a mess of limbs that these 2 branches come down to hang down so low. But we're talking also about a very large Ponderosa pine, very old, as you can kind of see by the size there. What's going on in the environment around? The grass has really exploded in growth. The last 2 times I've been out here, this week and last week, it's been warm weather, really nice outside, and the plants have seemed to really taken to that, as you can see all around me. This side of the tree that I've been working on does get a lot more shade than the other side. As you can see over there, there's more direct sunlight. This tree kind of creates its own sort of shade cover. But these are the only branches that are hanging low enough to actually have access to make measurements to. So hopefully next week, start seeing some of those little pollen cones really start to emerge. And we'll see what happens between now and the next post in 2 weeks.